Alright, what's up guys? MTG GAME STATE, we're here. Again, it's the winter season of Magic cards, so we're kind of in like a slow period till we get into Innistrad Remastered, and then boom, 2025 with Aether Drift. So we're just going to talk about what's going on in the Magic culture, in the Magic world, as far as events, and then we'll get into the market watch and see what happens. And again, I have to say right now, as far as like the era of Magic cards, I'd have to say we're back in the 60 card era. We're out of Commander, and you'll see why soon. Boom, boom, boom. Also, I want to say thank you to Monopoly Go for sponsoring today's stream. So this is a sponsored stream. After all, we are official. So let's get into what we're doing here. So as far as news, pretty slow regarding, outside of like the unbannings for Modern, which we will get into in the market segment, the news stuff as far as like what's going on in Magic's world or like little culture ecosystem, kind of slow, kind of just waiting. Currently, we're waiting till the Pro Tour tournament comes up through the Magic Cons, which are little conventions to get everyone to come through while hosting the Pro Tour event and your little professional Magic grind little adventure. So coming up in the first round of the 3 Magic Cons from 2025 on, we have February 21st to 23. MagicCon Chicago. Why do I give a crap? Well, Chicago's my city. That's who we are. We are Chicagoans. And it will be in the great, beautiful building location, the place that has its own area code, McCormick Place, along the lake, right near the Chicago Bears football stadium and the museum campus. Parts of our background you'll see are kind of lie where that is. And we already have Pack Boys. Shout out Wheels. He's been to Chicago once, so you already know what's up. I got my badge. I will be there. So if you're in the Discord and stuff, if you're in Pack Boys Nation, you'll see what I'm on. Get your tickets now. Upcoming deadlines. Preston Creator application. The Creator deadline is November 17th, which we missed, fortunately. But the press deadline is January 10th. Maybe we could try and get in as a press badge. We'll see. I'll try and apply. Other than that, we have deadlines for if you want a portfolio review. Say you're a Magic artist in the making. You got until December 17th to get that in. And you can apply all here. And then if you're cosplay, Magic players love their cosplay. I believe all Comic-Cons and any convention needs the cosplay ecosystem in itself anyways. So January 19th is to finish applying there. But obviously if you're watching the VOD back on YouTube when this gets uploaded, this may or may not have already happened. And there's some Dungeons and Dragons stuff going on. When you get your badges, they give you dice for a D20 for Dungeons and Dragons for the anniversary, which I thought was pretty nice. But we have a countdown of 54 days, 15 hours. So that's pretty cool. And again, I'm going to be there. I'm just going to see who we can meet. There's some people in the Discords between the commanders scene that we're cool with. I'm going to see if we can link up with, get some formal meetups in person stuff. And just real quick, let's look at the guest lineup since we're here, since we're going to plug the little event. Featured guests, Brian David Gilbert from Actually, Brian David Marshall from All Days, Covert Go Blue from All Days, Iffy Nwadwie from Sun. Looks like these are people from like Teams, or I'm not familiar with All Days, Sun. These might be people from Teams or podcasts, but I do know the professor. So hopefully we get to meet him because we are always hanging out in his Discord. That'll be kind of funny. He's just more of a familiar face. Some of these people, we're going to have to meet up in person and just confront them, I guess, in a friendly way. So I guess these are the guests, which is pretty cool. Who is going Friday? This is your Friday guests. These are your Saturday guests. And then your Sunday guests, we get a little bit extra. As far as artists, who are our artists, I guess, if we could find that. Okay, well, guess no artists are going to be at MagicCon, or it's still to be determined, so we'll figure that out. This is a live show after all. But I just wanted to show you what's going on. And there are going to be events where you could do ticketed event play if you want to get into tournaments. There's a Pro Tour qualifier, ticketed play event schedules also up. You can view that real quick. So see, you get to do the D&D campaigns, it looks like, and then there's also going to be two-headed giants, some commander pre-con battles, some sealed events. These are all events you're going to pay for. If you just want to go to the event with the base badge to get all of like, you know, the artists and the meet and greets and all that, you still can do that. And there's also going to be obviously free-to-play commander areas. So that's kind of just our little info segment for the MTG Game State as far as news. Pretty slow day. Oh, you went to a wrestling at United Center. Yeah, United Center is pretty big. The WWE SmackDown vs. Raw stuff is really big here in Chicago. Blue plays a lot of MTG on YouTube. Okay, so Blue is a YouTuber. I thought that maybe those were podcasters or something. So Covert Go Blue from All Days looks like he's a YouTuber. It looks like there's his bio, but I wanted to see what's up with Sun. So let's go to Iffy, because his name does sound familiar. I think he might also be on the rules committee for Commander. We'll get all to the socials later, I guess, off camera. So anyways, that's what's going on. Chat, thanks for holding it down. Let me know. I try to stay informed. I try my best. So going on into the finance segment, I think that's really where the meat and potatoes of this segment, where it all kind of comes together, for me at least. We're just going to get into card number 1. Just nice, short, and sweet. And I try not to pick cards that get featured on the weekly winners or any big lists that are already going to be out there. I try not to talk about cards that are, you know, going to be in the public more than stuff in the background. But again, we're in a slow period of Magic cards. So we're kind of just seeing what we can get. But I did think this is interesting because it is a Universes Beyond, and it's entering the 60-card format. Yggdrasil Rebirth Engine is a 3-drop artifact, and it does a lot of shit. When Yggdrasil Rebirth Engine enters the battlefield, exile all creature cards from your graveyard. Then you can tap, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You can pay 4 and tap. Put a creature card exiled with Yggdrasil onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Legal and Legacy Modern Vintage Commander. As of December 28th, average listing on TCG Player was like $2, but now we're seeing the market's buying at $17. And I think I made a little mistake there in my little pen and paper research, but average listing on TCG Player is $20. Market's buying at $17. So the market's going to get ahead as much as they can on at least the base printing of this. And Universes Beyond is a little premium. And why we're seeing this card being important is that it's just in the Eldrazi Through the Breach decks for Modern, Eldrazi Tron. These lists are pretty nasty, and it's just got all the things you want to see in the Through the Breach types decks, and it adds 4 of Yggdrasil. And I think also this is just coming in through the fallout of the unbannings for Faithless Looting. It's just kind of coming into like a more kind of synergistic play for the Eldrazi Through the Breach archetype, which is good because since we saw and covered Pro Tour last summer 2024, the Nadu Pro Tour, we did see some other archetypes, but it's nice now we're Modern, you get to see some branching out into other archetypes, or at least old archetypes. Because I feel like Through the Breach Eldrazi Tron's kind of old, but whatever. I digress. Now, coming in at card number 2, Abhorrent Oculus. This is, again, another 60-card format card. Also good in Commander, too. But this is getting on everyone's radar now that we're coming in for the Faithless Looting Unbannings. And what it is, it's a 3-drop. It's in blue. As an additional cost to cast this spell, exile 6 cards from your graveyard. Kind of crappy cost, like additional costs, you know. But you get a flyer. It's a 5/5 body. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, manifest Dread, which is look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one into the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature, the other into your graveyard. Turn face up anytime for its mana cost if it's a creature. Legal across all the board of formats besides Pauper. Oh, we got some action. Mark Classy, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome to the segment. So what's going on with Abhorrent Oculus? Well, again, this is just, like I said, coming in from the fallout of the Faithless Looting Unbannings. We're seeing average listing on TCG Player, $47.52. Market's buying at $35. And again, this is a popular card. I really didn't want to have to talk about it, but we did, because since the last 2 months, it's been just increasing in price due to the blue-black Murktide decks but now in Modern and Legacy, we're seeing it used in Grixis builds, and it's good with Unearth, Faithless Looting, because with Faithless Looting, we get turn 1, draw into this card, or maybe even discard this card into grave, and then turn 2, Unearth this card onto the battlefield, and we get a 5/5 swinger that can help mill our deck, and it's just going to be good in stuff that's going to need just graveyard fill. And it's just a big body. I think we can get this out on turn 2, basically, with Faithless Looting and Unearth. I think that's what everyone's trying to do. So we're seeing Grixis Death, Grixis Control, Stifle Knot, and Legacy. Again, it's just a card that's seeming like it's a tech piece in more traditional archetypes in the 60-card formats that really needed help. So I like to see that. And it's from the new sets too. So Bloomborough Forward has really hit cards, like introduced cards that had been impact in the 60-card formats, which I really like. Like I said, we're kind of coming out of that Commander 2018 to 2023, 24 era. Now moving on, for card number 3, some of my old heads, you might know this, Vengevine. Now, what's going on? Vengevine is, again, any of my Magic players, this is a familiar card from the old days, but not the Zendikar Arise of the Eldrazi print. I wanted to bring up Ultimate Masters. And don't forget, Ultimate Masters had the box toppers. Those are something to look for. And again, Vengevine, as we get to see, before we get into price or anything, it's printed in the premium decks, premium sets. It's got a textless game day promo coming up. So again, it's hitting the check marks of stuff you want to look for in cards that are going to be expensive, and especially since this is going to be used in Modern, you really want to try and get ahead of the curve. But anyways, it's premium sets. It's going to, whatever card in a premium set goes up in price, the rest will just kind of drag up with it. It's just kind of how it goes in this world. Can't help you there. So what is Vengevine? It's 4-drop elemental creature, 2 and 2 green with haste. When you cast a spell, if it's the second creature spell you cast this turn, you may return Vengevine from your graveyard to the battlefield. Legal in Legacy, Modern, Vintage, or Commander. Now, why we care about this, though, is now with Faithless Looting unbanned, we're going to see this used in Hollow One Modern builds, which are coming up pretty big. And Hollow One is just, again, it's just a big, stompy, quick build that's coming up for Modern archetypes. And with Faithless Looting being unbanned, it's just kind of everything across the board is just getting beefy as far as archetypes and decks. And Vengevine, I saw it in my research. Shout out to Young Dingo on YouTube and Twitch. They actually did, they're where I saw the most current info about this card.
I appreciate you. I hope you had one.
Where they're saying this card is basically invincible, and they just do quick gameplay about it. So we'll just kind of just go through the little highlight of what's going on. But basically, that's kind of where my market research is, where I was seeing is just on Magic Online tournaments, we're seeing Hollow One decks basically use Vengevine for an advantage play if they can't get into Hollow One or Orcish Bowmasters or what have you. So that's card number 3. And now card 4, as our honorable mention, hitting in again our 60-card formats, and again hitting in from a recent set, Fear of Missing Out. It's already been a good piece in the standard mono red burn builds, but now we're seeing it being used in Modern. And just real quick, I want to go back. I apologize. I didn't get into the finance for Vengevine. Ultimate Master Sprint, I'm sounding the alarm. If you guys are going to be playing any Magic card, 60-card formats, I know we want the original. I know we want the cool baller stuff. Get the Ultimate Master Sprinting at least, because I'm seeing average listing on TCG Player for $14, which is rounding up to $15. But the market's been buying for at least $8 on this card as of December 28th. Okay? So that's the finance of Vengevine. Now, moving forward, sorry about that. Fear of Missing Out was, again, killing it in the standard format, but now we're seeing it getting use in Modern. This is just from Duskmourn House of Horror. New set, new banger set, honestly. It's a 2-drop. When it enters, discard a card, then draw a card. So it's a Faithless Looting on a body for 2. And it has Delirium. Whenever Fear of Missing Out attacks for the first time each turn, there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. Untap target creature. After this phase, there's an additional combat. So why this card is good is I'm seeing it's being used in Rakdos Delirium decks, and it just gives you a huge, big Nethergoyf. And then Faithless One as well is just a card that's going to get big with this card. And Faithless Unlooting is just going to help us cycle into trying to get this card or stuff that's going to help us fill our Delirium. And Delirium is if you have 4 or more different card types among cards in your graveyard, you get the Delirium trigger. So as of December 28th, average listing is $14.23, and the market listing is $13.26. So again, really nothing much to write home about other than that. We're just seeing it in the Hollow 1 builds for Modern. Yes, it's being used in Pioneer, and it's been used in Standard, but I personally think it's just because of Faithless Looting Unbannings. I'm always going to trip over myself there. It's just getting renewed interest, and it's a rare that isn't going to be a bulk. Usually anything in Standard or Modern that's like rare and needs to be a 4 of is going to be $5 to $10, $15. It's just kind of how it goes. I don't make the rules, I just say them. So that's the Market Finance Watch segment for the week. Hope you like it. Let me know on the YouTube side what you guys think. It will be timestamped and everything for y'all. So there you go.